Hey everyone, wanted to show you this this benchmark and goal generator to help keep everybody on track for the fall selling. So the first tab we're looking at here is the goals. This is how we're going to generate the benchmarks that we're going to provide to the LCs. So I'm using Kimberly's district as an example here. So what we're looking at here is here's the LCs to the left. And what you're going to do is they're actually going to start in this green area down here. So we're going to put your LCs over here, and then you're going to put their digital prior year goal. So what's going to do in here, it's actually going to increase that goal up to 20%. So you're going to notice that this number is actually off. If I were to go up here, I'll go ahead and generate that correct. That way you kind of see it in the correct format. What we really want to do is we want to make sure that the goal that the projected benchmark that we're going to give them is realistic so that they're not discouraged. So when I'm looking at this here, I'm saying, all right, prior year, if everything worked out, this is what your goal would be, plus 20%. But we know that's not exactly is the full story. So we want to look at the sales dashboard over here and find out what the whole story is. So what I'm looking at here, anybody that's over 90%, I'm going to keep that this is their goal. This is what I'm gonna input. So we're looking at Kevin at 90%. We're just going to take their previous goal, and it's going to increase that by 20%. And that's going to be his goal. So overall, where he's at right now, plus 20%. So it'd be basically a 30% goal is what we're asking him to realistically go if his current year ended today. Not crazy high. But like say Karina here, if I'm looking at her number here, it's 71%. So if I were to tell her to look at her prior year goal and add 20%, that's going to be a significant increase, and it's going to almost be discouraging. So what we're going to do here is we're going to highlight her, and we're going to bring her down to this area and say this would be a little bit extreme if I told her to do that. So I'm going to put her current where she's at currently, and then add in her prior year goal. So we're looking at her current and then the prior year. We're going to put that in here. And then it's going to tell us that that's a 29%. She's 29% down right now. And then if we were to tell her to increase that by 20%, that would be telling her, so you need to increase your territory 49% to hit goal. That would definitely be demotivating. So I looked at my district and I saw the highest goal was 40%. So I based that off of, let's bring that number, that 49% down to 40%. And then that's where this number is going to come. This is the number. This is this plus 40%. So I'm more comfortable telling Karina, I want you to increase your prior year to 40%. And that's something that has happened in the past. It's not going to be easy, but it could realistically be your goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and manually enter in that number. So 8743 will be her goal. Now on the flip side, there's going to be people that are higher, like Mark. So Mark, if we were to look at his goal in the past, 12.4, he killed his goal. If we were to tell him to go up 20%, that means that from his prior goal, that means we'd only say, take your current base and only increase it 4%. That could happen, but we want to make sure that he has a healthy pipeline and healthy close rate. So instead of telling him that, we're going to take his current year total and tell him to increase that by 20%. So that's where that number is going to come from. So this is really for you to say, if Mark or Andrew, Ryan or Karina comes to you and say, why did you give me this number? Now you can accurately say, well, I want you to be able to hit goal, and this is the data behind it. Now, so that will generate your projected goals up here. What you need to do now is figure out what that means as far as the mid-year target. So Bill's provided everybody a percentage that the average percentage of your district. So you really don't have to go manually and input everybody's digital mid-year increase to give you an average. You can just ask Bill, and you can just put that number right in here. and then that'll calculate your mid-year target. But if you wanted to, you could, divide their mid-year target by their full-year target, and it'll give you that percentage. But, like, for instance, we do that, 71%, 34%, whatever it is. So it'll give us the number, it'll give us the average. Now I know that out of this, I have to hit 56% of that to hit my mid-year. So that's what it's telling us, is 56% is what our mid-year target's going to be. So this is the mid-year target that you want to tell Karina, Mark, Melissa, and so on. This is the number you're going to want to hit. Now this is the average mid-year, so this is going to say, on average, you're going to have to do this by week in order to hit your goal. And this is the average by week to hit your full year. And there it is. So it's going to tell us that's the weekly bench, and then here's your daily average target. Now this was to assume that if they have literally nothing closed in Magellan. We know that's hopefully not true for most people. So let's go back over to Karina and say I went into Magellan and I pulled, this is how many she has closed, 90% or above. So we'll just say, ballpark, she has 234 digital units closed. See how that modifies the weekly benchmark? Because it's taken the difference between the digital units and what we have forecasted. And now it's calculating, this is what we have to hit. So 380 units, right? So what I'm going to do is on a Friday, I'm going to take that number, and that's going to be her target for next week. I want you to hit 300, I want you to get 380 units above 90% by the end of next week. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, she started out with 234 units closed in Magellan. So that way it'll tell me where she's at, where she needs to be, what the difference is, what kind of increase did she do. So 234. So what I'm going to do is on Monday night or Tuesday morning is what I'm going to pull the Magellan again. I'm going to see, okay, so she started out the week at 234 units closed. How many did she close yesterday? And let's just imagine she closed, now the number is, she has 300 units in Magellan closed. So now we know that she increased her territory by 66 units, and that's an increase by 17%. I can give her that data and say, now you're 314 units away from hitting your weekly target. And that's only helping you get to the projected goal. So this is a big spreadsheet that I wouldn't want to give to the LCs. I want to make sure that it's simple for them. And even as the DM, we want to make sure that everything is kind of clean and easy to read. So I made this next called the DM Benchmark Tracker. And all of this is pretty much, you don't have to put much data in here. This is all driven by the Goals tab. So we know that her target was this. She's currently increased her territory 66 units. This is where she's at right now. And she's 314 units away. Increased her territory by 17%. Still hasn't hit, but once she does, I'll know it. Now we know that her digital units above 90%, that's where she's at. She has 300 digital units. And this is where you're going to put the rest of the information in. You're going to say, okay, I know you have 300 units closed, and you're wondering where you're going to get this other 314 units. According to your Magellan tracking, you have this many that are less than 30%. Here's all your installed base, and here are the people in later stages. These are the kind of areas you can go after right now to get to that 314 units. So that's what you're going to do. And then from there, you can always make bar charts to show each LC what percentage to the 100% goal they are for the week. Rile up some competition amongst the LCs. Now, this is what you're going to provide the LCs. Right here is the benchmark tracker. So you're going to look at it and you're going to give them, here's your overall goal. And I would focus for them right now as your mid-year target. So here's your mid-year target. And so 4,613. So we're going to put that in here. They'll all have to put this in. Once they'll modify it for the full year later on. So 4,613 units to impact for mid-year. And we know that our target was 380 units. So then she's going to put in 380 units. We know she's 380 units away. On Monday, she had an increase of 66 units. So what she would ideally do is she would track this on her end and say, oh, I closed 606 or 66 digital units here. Type that in, and it's going to tell me. Now, what she'll do is she'll continue to do that. So Tuesday, she had 445 or 45, 46. Now I had a great day, 124, and then I hit 100 units. So I know I went above plus 1 unit, I hit, and I feel pretty good about the week. And if they didn't feel good about the week, they didn't hit, then that'd be a great coaching moment. What did we do that? Why was the reason we didn't hit? So the next thing that they'll do is they'll say, okay, great, hit that week. Week 1, I had 381 units. Now we know we have 4,232 units to go over the next 10 weeks, and I'm 8% to goal. Or I increased I'm over 8% to goal. So overall, this is just a great way for them to visually see that they are in control of their own goal without knowing a real goal right now. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to provide this spreadsheet along with the LC benchmark tracker in a separate spreadsheet too. So that way you can give them one spreadsheet and then you'll have all the masters in here. And then if you have any questions or you'd like me to sit with your team to show them how to utilize this, I'm more than happy to do that. Again, just let's try to figure a way that we can get everybody motivated and ready to sell and know that their goal is within reach, that they just have to now go and reach for it. Thank you.